Several episodes ago, I shared a few films that I bought during an indicator sale, and several viewers praised one of those films in particular, so I thought, let me watch that one next and share my thoughts with you. And that brings us to today's episode. This is the Kazdoy Closet. I'm Kazdoy. That's my closet full of all the stuff that I love. And today, a film from one of our most celebrated directors, and which earned Best Actor and Best Actress awards that same year. Let's check it out. Today's film is The Collector from 1965. It's 120 minutes long. Didn't really seem that long to me, which is a good sign. This one's in color. It's about a troubled butterfly collector who decides to kidnap an art student with whom he's been infatuated for many years. First of all, let me just say that this is a film that takes place in like one or two locations, and it's what they call a two-hander. That's a term I recently learned, which concerns a film in which there's basically only two characters. It all works, though, mainly because of the strength of the direction and the strength of our two lead actors. The director was William Wyler. His name's above the title on this one. He's considered by his peers to be second only to John Ford as a master craftsman of cinema. He won 3 Best Director Oscars. John Ford won 4 of those, and he was nominated a record 12 times. Some of his better-known films include The Best Years of Our Lives, Roman Holiday, The Desperate Hours, which I did do an episode on if you want to check that out, Ben-Hur, the 1959 version, of course, and this film, which is a much different film than his usual big productions. It's a much smaller film. It's well directed, lots of good suspense. The first 20 minutes or so are almost dialogue free. So I always think a director needs to have his act together to be able to tell the story just visually without any dialogue, of course. This is also one of Wyler's very last films. The Collector stars Terence Stamp. He won Best Actor at Cannes Film Festival this same year for this film, 1965. It's only his second feature film. Other films of his include Far from the Madding Crowd, and let me just digress for a second. I'm a big fan of The Kinks. In fact, I did an episode early on the Kinks, and it's one of my most viewed episodes, so I know there's a lot of fans out there, but one of their best songs, most famous songs, Waterloo Sunset, mentions Terry and Julie in the lyrics, and that's where Ray Davies got that from Far from the Madding Crowd. Terence Stamp, Julie Christie were in that. Anyways, Terence Stamp was also in Superman 1 and 2, and he was in The Limey. His character here, very unique, very interesting. I shouldn't say very unique because my English professor from college would really slam me for that. But this character often avoids eye contact or even blinking, really. He wears a suit tightened up really all the way up, very tightly. His head kind of cocked to one side. He's facing down. He's kind of slouched over. Really unusual performance. And his motivation for kidnapping this woman, and does she get away? I'm not going to tell you here. That would be spoiling it. You have to find out on your own. His co-star here is Samantha Eggar. She won Best Actress for this at Cannes, same year, 1965. This is early in her career, too. She did a lot of television, but when I think of her, I always think of the film The Brood, which is a David Cronenberg film, in which I'm a big fan of. I'm a big fan of his films. Terence Stamp, interestingly, in one of the interviews here, said that really Samantha Eggar had the more difficult role in this film because she had fewer choices to make as an actress because she was in prison throughout the whole thing. It's based on a novel by John Fowles, who is probably best known for his novel The French Lieutenant's Woman. I found The Collector to be quite an engrossing film. It's which is not easy to do with a small cast and just like 1 or 2 locations. It's about a lot of things: sexuality, social class, psychology, culture. Lots of good dialogue involved here. We really can't take our eyes off Terence Stamp because he has such an unusual character, but we also can't take our eyes off Samantha Eggar because, of course, she's beautiful, but we're always trying to figure out What is she thinking about her situation? How is she strategizing, going to try to get away, etc.? My favorite scene here is when the two of them try to discuss the novel The Catcher in the Rye. That really was a pleasant surprise for me because that is my favorite novel. I've taught it at least 20 times in high school. And when that showed up, it was quite interesting. I don't want to give away too much, but she says she has read it 3 times, and he tries to discuss it with her, and he also tries to discuss Picasso with her. And that's a really fascinating scene, but I don't want to give anything else away about that. This is almost sort of like a subgenre, I think, of films in which one person takes another person prisoner and is kind of obsessed with that person. I'm thinking of the film Obsession, also known as The Hidden Room from 1949, and also the film Something Wild, the 1961 film. That's what happens in those films. Anyways, my rating for The Collector is, this was a close one, but I'm going to still go with, I think, 4.5 butterflies out of 5. So what's on this disc? This is an indicator disc. It's only a standard edition, unfortunately. There's no booklet, but all the extras are there. This is region A, B, and C. The extras include audio interviews with Wyler and with Stamp. There are 2 15-minute video interviews, each with Stamp and Egger. That's from 2018. There's a lot more stuff on here, and this cover art, I do not like this cover art. Boy, it just doesn't communicate anything to me. What, she's stuck inside a butterfly? She is a butterfly, and they could have done a better job communicating an image of what this film's about with this cover art. But anyways, where can you see The Collector? Well, you can rent it, you can buy it, or you can stream it for free on Tubi. So I would check that out if you want to see this. Feel free to leave a comment or suggestion down below. Do you know any other films where somebody takes another person prisoner for the bulk of the film and that's what it's all about? Let me know. I know there's some other ones out there that I'm just not remembering. Leave a thumbs up. Don't leave a thumbs down. Subscribe would be great. Share this with your friends and neighbors. Subscribing is free. Also free is we're on the Letterboxd app under the Kazdoy Closet. There's a link in the notes down below how to get to that. And we leave brief written reviews of other things we're watching that we don't talk about here. Most recently, Bob Marley, One Love, my notes, Red Sun, and Anatomy of a Fall. So check those out. Otherwise, thanks so much for watching. See you next time.